Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Rainbow Six Siege operator guide. In this video we'll be going over Azami. We'll be looking at her loadout, gadget, and how to best use her in the siege. But before we get into the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for even more amazing Rainbow Six Siege content. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it, plus you'll always have some content to watch. It's a win-win. Now let's begin. First up, let's go over her primary weapons, starting off with the 9x19 SVN SMG. The 9x19 does lower than average damage with a lower than average fire rate, but where it makes up for those lacking stats is its recoil, by which I mean it has very little to none. You're going to have no trouble controlling it, and since it lacks damage and fire rate, you're going to have to nail those headshots, which should be easier, like I said, due to its lack of recoil. You also have 30 rounds in the magazine, which should give you more than enough to get that dome shot off. Personally, it's one of my favorite SMGs as long as you're accurate, and it's my preferred choice for her loadout. Just remember to practice that aim and find good angles to attack from. Next up, she can use the ACS-12 shotgun. It's a slug shotgun with good range and damage, but it's a slug shotgun, so you're going to have to be extremely accurate with your shots, but you can do pretty good damage even if you do have to go for body shots. Go for the body shots until your aim improves and you'll still deal good damage and get kills. It's better than going for headshots and just missing your entire 30 round magazine. So make sure you just practice that aim, and once it gets good enough, you're going to be taking out people left and right. As for secondary weapons, she only has one choice, the D50 handgun. It does incredible damage but with a lot of recoil and a small magazine of only 7 rounds. Switch to it when your primary needs to be reloaded and it will serve you well, but I definitely recommend practicing the recoil. For secondary gadgets, you can pick between the barbed wire or the impact grenades. Pick barbed wire to slow down the attackers or set up for an ambush, or just go with the impacts for some extra utility and the ability to make rotation holes for your team. The choice is yours. Now let's get to the good stuff, Azami's special gadget. She brings her Kiba barriers into the siege. These are little kunai that she can throw. Once it hits the surface, they expand into a circle of bullet-proof concrete that has a variety of uses, some of which we'll get into in a second. But first, there are a couple important things to note. Like, for example, she gets 5 total Kiba barriers. She starts with only 1 at the start of the round, and the next one will come after 30 seconds, until you hit that maximum of 5. Next, it can be deployed on most surfaces. Walls, floors, ceilings, corners, any solid surface. If you do throw it at, say, an operator or another gadget, you can just walk over and pick the kunai back up and get your barrier back. Finally, the barriers are bulletproof, but they can be exploded with explosives or destroyed with 3 melee attacks. The melee attacks do show visible cracking on the concrete though, so attentive defenders can see that someone is about to break the barrier. So be careful if you're on the attacking side, and remember to always have an explosive ready if you want to take those Kiba barriers out nice and fast. Now there are so many things that you can actually use the Kiba barriers for, so let's go over a quick list of some of the more useful things. For starters, you can block windows. If you notice an attacker is holding an angle on a window or you've been shot from one, you can just throw a Kiba barrier on the frame and block most of, if not the entire window. This obviously prevents the attacker from pushing that angle, and now you can safely move through that room and delay the attackers for a little bit. You can also throw a Kiba barrier and then throw another one on the edge of that one to make walls. You can just straight up create new angles by combining multiple Kiba barriers. This can throw the attackers off and give you the upper hand, since you can be well protected and make angles that they are not ready to counter and they are not ready to look out for. And then finally, you can also use it to seal up trapped doors. Say an attacker has popped one open and is now just raining fire down on your team. You can throw a barrier next to the hole and seal it up, saving the day for you and your team. You can also space 2 or more barriers to make structures with peek holes in them. You can make a full-sized wall or a hole low enough to look through while prone. The attackers won't be ready for it, and hopefully you can snag a kill. Honestly, there are so many things you can do with them, and with time you'll learn what kind of spacing is needed to maximize their usage. You'll see the map and you get a feel for where you can set up good stuff at, like where the hot zones are to cover. Set up ambushes or block pathways the attacker's gonna take commonly. Just keep playing Azami and you'll get a feel for strategies and how to place things where they're needed the most. Moving on, we have the combos and counters. Let's start with the combos. Azumi really combos well with operators that can either protect her barriers or help with her ambushes and little peek hole surprises. This means operators like Jaeger and Wamai, whose gadgets intercept and destroy explosives that could be used against her barriers. Operators like Capcom, Frost, Goyo, Malusi, Smoke, Legion, and any other trap operators whose gadgets can help kill or ambush the attackers around the Kiba barriers. They They all combo well with Azami. Just try different combos with your team and see what makes the best traps for you all. You can go with a lot of different combos and a lot of different strategies. As for counters, anyone that has an explosive gadget. So we're talking Ashe, Fuse, Hibana, Zofia, Maverick, Kali, and Flores. They all have explosives that can easily destroy the Kiba barriers. She's also countered by Sledge, who can melee barriers down faster, and any attackers that use frags. They can just easily blow up and take out Azami's Kiba barriers. And that's going to be it for the video. I want to hear from you all. How good do you think Azami is? Do you think she's a little overpowered? And what do you think of the new Team Deathmatch mode? I was thinking of doing a video on it, and I just want to know if people love it or hate it, or how many people actually enjoy playing it. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for even more amazing Rainbow Six Siege content. And don't forget to check the description down below for a link to our community Discord server where we talk all Siege all the time. I'm the Battlemoon, and I will see you in the next Siege.